So, what if India was Christian? I'm sure it's a burning question on everybody's mind. Well, gamers are about to find out because we're playing some post-Phenom today, more specifically the 1.2 Sons of Abraham update that's going to be releasing in a few weeks, I'm pretty sure. Well, it really depends when this video releases. As the name suggests, this update has a lot of new content for the Abrahamic religions, which is a much smaller group in this timeline. One where Christianity didn't really leave the Middle East all that much. Same with Islam, which is now just one entire group itself. But one place where Christianity did manage to spread in this timeline is all the way over here to Calicut. There's a little bit of lore, so if you want to, you can sort of pause to read this entire thing. But the most important thing to know about, other than, this whole event, is the fact that we're a tributary state in southern India. The religious diversity here is quite large. We have ourselves, which is the one Christian country. Obviously, you have the Hindus, there's even a little bit of Hellenic, some Jain, some Islamic, and of course, some Buddhism. And upon starting up the game, we get this event. It has to do with these missions over here. Right now, as I'm playing, only the pious mission tree has actually been coded, so you're gonna have to wait until it releases to find out what the sinful path is all about. So we start off, we get a bit of prestige, and we also lose 5 decadence, as well as obtaining new missions. And yes, that means we have our own mechanic. It's not the same as the Ottoman decadence, although it's not great either. The only problem is that decreasing the decadence is kind of expensive. 10 loyalty from each of the estates and a stability to lose 5, and currently we're gaining 0.11 per month. So yeah, that would be what, every 4 years we'd have to get rid of a stability, which is not great. Oh right, for our religion. Okay, so we are Savasam, which is a form of Christianity, South Indian Christianity. We get morale of armies, which is nice, but more importantly, we get to have the deity mechanic. So, in a way, it's not like you're playing too different from Hindu, but you just have different deities. So I would say that we probably either want tech cost, manpower recovery, or tolerance of heathens. What's interesting actually about Christianity in this mod is that it's not its own religious group, it is part of the Abrahamic group. So in this mod, heretics to any Christian faith are, Evangelos and Concitos, which are the other 2 Christian faiths, but also Jewish and Islamic. So that's quite different from base game EU4. Either way, I think I'm just gonna go with tech cost. It saves points, that's always nice. So we have the Den of Sin, it's a starting modifier for the clergy. Gives us quite the reduced tolerance to the true faith and quite a bit of monthly decadence. It seems we can't revoke it, and I'm not sure how we're going to get around that. Yeah, I actually don't see anything in the mission tree about that, so maybe it's some kind of event, I'm not sure. Or maybe it's something we actually need to live with permanently. That would be interesting. Well, anyway, let's start by handing out the point privileges, as I always do. Interestingly enough, we do start with quite a bit of extra crown land. It's been so long since I've played a game in India, I actually forget what the Marathas or Vaishyas do. Although I would imagine it's probably likely that we're encouraged to take something like this, simply because, we start with extra crown land. We're probably supposed to take something that gives you extra crown land. Probably something that helps with your conversion strength as well. But we can definitely do that later. So let's go ahead and grab religious festivities for extra missionary strength. We can also go ahead and just seize crown land. I'll just grab increased levies and increased autonomy. The Vaishyas will take patronage of the arts. Support for the enterprise is fine. We also need this for the clergy. And we'll go with development of temples. Just one last thing, I guess we'll grab this as well. We do, however, have a unique government reform, which is kind of cool, although it's actually not cool. It seems like it kind of sucks. Monarch military skill -1. That's a new one. Obviously, let's start with the people that border us. That's going to be Cochin, Lathanad, and yeah, I guess Venad eventually. So we don't have a massive force limit, but we can still hire a free company, and that should be more than enough for us to win our first few wars. So we look at the Duke. He's a 2-3-1, which isn't particularly good. His heir actually is quite a bit better. So I think I'm going to assign him as the general, and he sucks. Okay, perfect. And I should probably look for some allies, or ally one, it seems. Mission complete. We gain a general of 40 tradition who gains an additional 1 maneuver, which is perfect for us. Hopefully he's better than the king. Yeah, okay, I'd say that's a little bit better. Alright, 12th of December, we can declare a war. It seems Pandya is going to butt in here, but I'm not too concerned. Siege is done, no problem. I kind of don't feel like waiting all that much. So you know what? I think I'm going to move over here, stand on their capital, see if I can get them to leave. Or if all else fails, we can just fight them in the jungle. It's not so bad of an idea. Because of course, we're going to be the defender in this battle, so it'll be nice and easy. And that's a stack wipe. All right, war's done. Next on the chopping block, that's going to be you and your ally, because they're not allied to anybody else, so we might as well. Okay, unique events. I should have known. Who's 25 prestige. Thomas Kulasakara becomes the Duke, or the new heir, actually. 233. I mean, technically not any worse than our current guy. And the alternative is that we lose a stability and Pretender Rebels rise up. Presumably the Pretenders are going to have the same stats. But yeah, you know what? Just out of curiosity, let's find out what happens if we reach a compromise. We really have been sieging this for almost 2 years though, which is not great, but at least it's done. Here, we can do something easy. Let's just walk off, see if this guy's gonna take the bait, which of course he does, and then we go and win. That wasn't so bad. We completed this mission, which is to unite this entire state. I think what we have to do next is actually just manually decrease all of the tolerance, or all the autonomy. So we do that, and doing so reduces a little bit of the devastation, which is nice. Plus, they each get an additional manpower, so that's cool. So in terms of AE, we do have a little bit so far, just minus 30, which isn't terrible. We've managed to stabilize the decadence, which is nice. And apparently, our ally does not like us very much. Okay. I think we're actually going to keep on paying tribute just for the time being, because if we break the tributary status, then we definitely can't attack this guy. And hey, free military power, I'll take that. We can seize some land, but first, of course, we're going to sell some titles now that we actually have a little bit of money to gain from it. Not a whole lot, but it's something. Renaissance has spawned in Alexandria, surprisingly. We've lost a few of our rivals, so I guess we'll go with... You know what? Yeah, we'll go with that guy. I was planning to invade him anyway. 8 ducats. This is highway robbery at this point. Okay, you know what? I just want to keep conquering the tributaries, so... fine. Oh yeah, it turns out we actually don't even have a CB against Pandia. For some reason, I thought that that mission would give me permaclaims, but we do have missions for the southern part, so I will take them anyway. Oh, okay, so this guy went from having 1 ally to having 3. That'll make things more interesting at least. Well, I didn't wait this long just to complain, so it's gonna be a little expensive, but I think just for the battle we're going to have up here, I should probably hire a few mercenaries. Like, this guy is Tech 4, so it's probably worth it. Although, yeah, it's not feeling so great on the old treasury. Tributary in the form of 7 ducats, man, you drive a hard bargain, but okay. We should be able to knock both of them out. Well, that's a tough one. We'll take the money. We kind of do need it. 1 stack wipe, and that's the second one. Perfect. Okay, yeah, we're getting great events. I'll take the legitimacy loss, I guess. It's not as bad as stability. And frankly, I can't afford to sit here and wait, so this guy, we're just going to get rid of you directly. First reform, which is great for us because we actually do have our own unique one. We get maximum privileges per estate, monthly splendor, and reduced prestige decay. Although, I'm kind of wondering if I care that much. No, honestly, I think I'm gonna go with empower the polygars. The infantry combat ability is nice, but also the development cost is great for spawning the Renaissance, which we will eventually have to do. Of course. Hey, wait, hold on a second. It's been, what, 11 years and that guy died? Although, to be fair, I'm not actually sure how old he was, and this guy is 39, so we can't expect him to live longer than another 20 years anyway. Well, that kind of sucks, because now, of course, we get Pretender Rebels, and I'm not really ready to deal with that. Oh, and you know what? Yeah, I actually did want him to die, didn't I? That king. Me when I specifically make the king a general so that he dies, and then I'm shocked when he dies. Okay, so Pretender Rebels. Let's see, are you any good? 2, 3, 4. I mean, yeah, they are. Are they good enough to justify losing a stability for 1 extra mill point? This guy's gonna die, yeah, you know, somewhat soon anyway, and who knows, we could get someone way better. We're gonna be waiting a little while for this war to finish, so, time for a fun fact, I guess. Like a week and a half ago, I went and got some dosa, which is like Southern Indian street food, kinda? Like, you can buy it as street food in Southern India, apparently. But I made the mistake of going ahead and getting like the spiciest one on the menu. So when they say it's spicy, they're not lying. It's definitely, yeah, it's quite spicy. So we can either pay 22 ducats to get 10 loyalty, or pay nothing and get 10 loyalty. That's a tough one. Turns out they didn't actually have to surrender. We can just full annex them anyway, so that's nice. But yeah, the aggressive expansion is quite a bit more at this point. In terms of rivals, we'll pick up our old ally. And obviously we're gonna have to sit here for a little bit. Oh yeah, okay, so now we have a Hindu province, which is going to give us the Jains. Now we have 5 estates. And there is one other thing I wanted to do, actually. I'm going to put 1 military clique in here. That'll bring us to 10 crown land. I'm going to sell some titles. It's going to give the Marathas quite a bit of loyalty. I'm also going to summon the Diet so they get a little bit more influence as well. But we'll just go with something basic like this. That's not a big deal. The main point is that we'll also be able to finish this mission, which will give us a little bit of crown land back. Also allows us to have a local organization, which is interesting. So that's going to give us additional tax, additional manpower, and reduced governing cost, which is quite nice. And then of course, because we have a little bit of additional crown land, once we seize some, we're going to be back to above 10%. Oh yeah, we do need to give the Janes something. Oh, and you know what? I think I might actually give them city expansion privileges as well. It's going to help with the dev cost in any province that has an estuary or a trade center. So for example, our capital. And yeah, I'm not going to do the tribute anymore. I'm just going to keep refusing until he eventually breaks it. Because if we break it, then we lose a stability and I can't be bothered. So if we develop all of the provinces in this region to a base production of 5, then not only do we get reduced development cost in the entire state, but also 3 bonus development points, which will be spent whenever we click the next few development points. So I'm thinking that's going to be pretty helpful for developing the Renaissance in our capital. We'll also build a church because that'll further decrease the development cost by 5%. While we still have this guy, I'm going to bump up stability once, and then I'm going to swap you out for a missionary strength guy, actually. Wait, is this a second city expansion privileges? Development cost minus 5%. Yeah, that's the same privilege, but we can get it for the Janes and the Vaishyas. Okay. There we go. We're no longer a tributary, which is nice. In fact, if we wanted to, we can probably invade them instantly, because that does not give us a truce. But yeah, we're not really going to be invading anybody for the time being. New heir, please don't be bad. Please don't be bad. And he's bad. Of course. And for some reason, I can't even disinherit him. And I don't know why. Pending events, it says. And there are no pending events. So, okay. Is that another stab hit? Okay, cool. Right, well, we can sell some titles because we devved a lot. So we have quite a bit of crown land. Let's go ahead and spend that on something. How about we upgrade this over here, actually? I think would make the most sense. All right, and that should be the last province. Not to mention, we can also convert that. So, jungle irrigation, 50 admin points, 10% reduced development cost, 20% local goods produced, which is nice, and 3 bonus development points for whenever we decide to develop the capital, which is going to be somewhat soon. 2 manpower in the capital is actually pretty enticing. Yeah, I think I am going to take that. That'll give us 15 development, which we can use to expand infrastructure. Really? Yeah, another stability event. You know what? I'll even bump it twice, whatever. Still can't disinherit, by the way, so something's definitely bugged and I'm not sure what it is. I'm gonna reload the game, see if I can fix that. Okay, there we go. Now we can disinherit him. Oh, and of course, I probably should have expanded infrastructure. And another 2 base manpower in Calicut. Okay, well, I feel like this is actually increasing the price to develop the institution, but free development is free development. I'm still going to take it. And apparently it would be incredibly easy to invade this guy, so we're just going to. Wait, defeating a rebel army in battle will lower unrest by 1 in all of our provinces. That seems easily abusable, actually. But I guess it kind of depends on how long it lasts, so I'm gonna find out. There you go, that's an actual heir. We can work with that. And yeah, it seems so at this point, the decadence has reached such a high level that this army literally cannot recover morale. It will recover minus 2.3% of its maximum morale each month. So that's really not great. As much as it hurts, we might actually have to investigate corruption. I really don't want to do that, but I guess we have to. Are you kidding me? Consort Regency. Well, I guess we had an heir. On the bright side, the consort is actually quite good. This could be a bit of a gamble, but you know what? We love gambling. So I'm gonna go after this guy because his ally would not help him. Also, he's Tech 5. I'm Tech 5. No worries about that. And also because, well, we've been decaying aggressive expansion, but that's mostly with Hindu countries. This guy's Jain, so I don't think we're going to have nearly as many issues. We are definitely going to need some more money, so I'm gonna sell some titles. And yeah, god, that decadence is crushing, not gonna lie. It's really painful. We don't have a super easy chance of winning this, so I'm gonna pop this 1 tax just so we can grab the Renaissance. That should be enough for us to embrace it, and of course we're going to take out 1 loan for that just because we kind of have to. We're going to embrace that, and then it should be a little bit cheaper for us to take the next Miltech. And yes, the capital is 40 development. Okay, fortunately AI is, you know, not the brightest or anything, so we can have this battle. Shouldn't be too hard. And there we go. Our ally is actually kind of carrying us. They took the enemy capital and their Tech 6. It's been 3 years. It's been 3 years and the consort is dead already. I can't have like 1 ruler live longer than 7 years. No, I can't have that. Okay. Admin cost doesn't look that bad, so we might as well take it and pick up the first idea group. Problem is, we've been so short on points. I don't even know what group I want to take. At the very least, we actually have pretty decent ideas. So we apparently have to take either quality offensive or quantity, so I guess we'll take offensive ideas. Now we can finally finish this war. I'll take a humiliate war reps, a bit of money, and I guess a rivalry would be fine as well. And yoink! And I think I'm going to swap away from this, probably over to this, only because it gives us an additional privilege per estate, and I kind of do want that, mostly for the good loans, so I can pay off all of the bad loans. Is that event stab hit number 3 this video? You know what? I think I actually kind of like the Janes. In theory, we would eventually have to convert the Janes, but I don't think it actually matters all that much. In fact, when we have an upgrade for the Janes estate, I imagine we're supposed to keep the Janes estate. So I can work with that, actually. I'll just go ahead and give them autonomy, whatever. Yeah, I'm also going to take this, even though I don't really want to. Main point is because we also have a mission that we need to complete 3 agendas for the clergy, and I don't actually want to complete the agendas necessarily. Maybe I just want to cheat them a bit. Because, yeah, I don't really want to dev that tax. I have better uses for my admin points. But we can do that, and we can finish this off, so we get a little bit of loyalty. At least Tech 6 admin is going to allow us to build workshops, and we should be able to build at least one really good one, so that's good. In fact, we have a lot of good workshops we could build. So let me go ahead and sell some titles, and we'll take some land back. We're going to use that money to build a couple of workshops. And 50 admin, not bad. Might even use that to decrease our inflation. Surprisingly, there was one good thing about being in this regency for so long, and that is I was able to wait long enough to get the Embrace the Renaissance kind of objective, so we can start our golden era, although it doesn't feel like much of a golden era, but it'll be helpful because we need to decrease inflation and I don't want to spend that much. Well, it only took 10 years of sitting here doing almost nothing, but the new Duke is in charge finally, and if this is the game's way of apologizing, then I accept it. That's a pretty good heir. Oh, he's perfect. Minus 20% advisor cost as well. Let's go. Things are almost looking playable down here in Calicut. So we're gonna pick up this guy. He's not half cost or anything, but I kind of want these stab costs, so with that, stability is quite a bit cheaper, which is nice, and I absolutely hate doing this, but I'm gonna at least try something here by taking this mission. I know the modifier is only gonna last 20 years, and it does pretty much nothing for us, but I'm hoping that, I don't know, some kind of event is led from this to, you know, remove more decadence. I don't know. I'm hoping that there has to be some way to remove Den of Sin. I have no idea what it is. I can't find it, but I imagine it has to. There has to be one somewhere. So I will bump up the stability to 3, even though I really don't want to. Now, the decadence does make it difficult to wage war, but not technically impossible. We're just gonna have to rely on allies, which has never gone wrong ever. So, as I said, not impossible, just not very easy for us. Literally just by having the Miltech advantage. That's the only way I'm winning these wars. And they've surrendered, nice. So I can take that. It's not that bad of a coalition, really, just a couple of countries. That'll give us some permaclaims and a half-cost level 2 stability cost guy, which is great because that's already what I have, but I can save a little bit of money. We can take some land back, no problem. We do actually have one other country we can invade right now. Just for the sake of it, why not? We'll grab war taxes, and I'll be taking that. Now, surprisingly, we do make a somewhat decent amount of money, and also I can go over to the Vaishyas for even more loans, which we're going to spend on upgrading some centers of trade. I guess I did finish this mission. Not intentionally, it just kind of happened. So the development of this monument that we have in this city will be increased by 1. Basically, that gives us more goods produced, and that's, well, yeah, that's kind of most of it. We also get trade efficiency, though, so that's nice. And yeah, you probably could wait until you upgrade it to level 2, and then this will upgrade it to level 3. But frankly, I'm impatient, and I'm probably not going to play that long, so I'm going to take it anyway. Oh, okay, and just for free, we get 100 Diplo and almost 700 ducats from spice production. For another idea group, I honestly have no idea. We eventually need to take religious ideas, but I really don't feel like taking that yet. So, boring as it may be, but yes, I'm taking Diplo. Statistically, if I hire a general, I should get one that fits the bill here. Ooh, just barely. Okay, so let's bump up that stability by once, so we can finally finish this off. Gonna give our guy an additional admin point, but also, in theory, at least a little bit less decadence, and if we go to war, then maybe that'll fix it more, possibly. I don't know, this decadence mechanic is really annoying. Like, you really can't fight any major war, because you just can't recover enough morale. So, it's not gonna be the world's easiest war, but it is going to be the most necessary war. Yeah, having this morale advantage would be amazing if we could actually, you know, recover morale. So, let me just go ahead and swap out all of these guys. Put them in here. These guys can just leave. Although I have a feeling they're gonna have to go back anyway, because we're probably gonna have to fight this guy. Yeah, I did bring them back just so we can get a little bit of morale though. So we're able to win, but it sucks. It sucks so bad. So from this guy, I don't actually want all that much. I want war reps for obvious reasons. I want this alliance gone for an even more obvious reason. And I also want this province. Now, the main reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want them to ally back up with Jaunpur. So if I annul this treaty, it'll be 10 years before they'll be allowed to ally them again. And this truce is going to last pretty much 10 years. So at that point, I can declare war and hopefully they will not have allied, I don't know, Bengal or anybody else really. Who knows? We'll find out. Gonna let this guy off easy so I can just invade him later. Doesn't really matter. Alright, I'll go ahead and take all of that. And we're a great power, although it really does not feel like it. How about we go and conquer this guy as well? And yeah, we can go for his ally. I think for now we really only have one, maybe two countries? Yeah, okay, we can go with two. Two countries left to invade, starting with Goa. Goa was pretty easily taken. Just gonna yoink that. Now that should finish off a mission over here. The promote Jain bookkeeping now gives minus 0.5 interest per annum as a constant bonus, which is nice. We don't really care so much about the missionary strength because again, we're gonna keep the Jains around. Okay, tier 4, what do we have? Global monthly devastation reduction, clergy influence, no thanks, especially not right now. In fact, yeah, we should definitely take this, shouldn't we? Seeing as clergy influence directly increases the amount of decadence we gain. You know, all things considered, it actually isn't going that poorly. It's not as bad as I'm making it out to be. We do have a fairly decent amount of money we're making. You know, we're about as rich as Persia, and like, look at those guys, they're pretty big. Hey, random jump cut. So, I decided to submit a little bit of my feedback for playing this country to get a couple things changed. Mostly to do with the decadence mechanic because frankly, it's just really hard to work with and sort of feels more like a permanent modifier. I think more than it had to. So there are a few changes, starting with the Den of Sin. First of all, it no longer scales up to plus 0.5 monthly decadence. Now it scales up to 0.3, which is much more reasonable. Also, it can be revoked so long as you complete the mission or you have at least 50 crown land. Obviously, the mission is much easier. So I'm looking forward to being able to get rid of that at some point. Also, investigating corruption is no longer as painful and now gives you minus 10 decadence, which I think is much more reasonable. And on the flip side, I think you gain less money now for getting 10 decadence, which is also reasonable because of course you don't get nearly as much decadence as before. So when you play this country yourself, hopefully you'll have a much easier time. Perfect timing really that the clergy just lost a little bit of influence because now I actually can get rid of Den of Sin. Finally. Oh, and another thing, actually. The Recover Army morale speed has now been capped at minus 10% at maximum decadence, rather than 20%. And, you know what? Yeah, I think I'm gonna grab the admin. Now, let's go and invade the Maldives. Yoink! Oh, what do you know? I guess that's 300 development. Man, that's a depressing thing to say. Another one of these. Okay. Sure. I'll take admin. Oh yeah, let's see. Let's get rid of oversight by the clergy, because we do not need that. We also don't care that much about this guy, so we can just leave. That's whatever. And at least full annexation is not that bad. Not to get sidetracked or anything, but also our king is called a Saint King, and that has to be one of the coolest titles I can imagine. Also, it's October, so I'm going to swamp over to focusing on mill power because, frankly, we need to grab this tech. And also, we're pretty behind on offensive ideas. But we're not actually going to wait for the tech, we're just going to go right into this war. We'll go with something close by, like Salem, sure. Who knows, maybe we'll find some witches in there. They haven't taken the tech yet, so this should be a pretty easy battle. Same thing with Bengal, who's actually only on tech 6 for Diplo. That's embarrassing. Yeah, I wouldn't fight that if I were you. Yes, the feeling of actually being able to fight a war. It's been so long. That advisor's finally dead. So we'll take this. And also, it seems like I'm losing a little bit of money, but that's not a big deal. I'm gonna ask the Jains for a little bit of money anyway. Or, not the Jains, the Vaishyas. Because I do want to upgrade you probably twice, actually. I mean, it's kind of expensive. We'll get around to twice eventually. Main point is that completes this. We just need to complete another agenda from the clergy, which is hopefully not that bad. There we go. That should be the third one, so we can finish this off, giving us an extra 10% army morale. Reduction in war exhaustion, which is frankly a little bit absurd. Minus 0.05 is a lot. Well, I guess that's the end of the war pretty much. I actually don't want to fight Bengal, so I'm just gonna quickly pump over here to see if I can get a tiny bit of war score on them. And it's not enough. Never mind, we're leaving. Seriously? Can't have anything these days. Alright, well, I guess prestige hit. Cool. That's cool. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, Bengal will leave. Perfect. Just on time, we can take minus 20% province war score costs. So I could actually decide to take like a lot more land, but yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I will take all of this though, and because it's December, Gujarat will probably not be able to join the coalition. So that'll finish off this mission here. We've also finished this mission, which will make it cheaper to develop the capital, although we've already kind of developed it, so that's kind of too bad. We can also sell some titles, take some land back, we'll core everything, of course. We could use that to repay all of our loans, but I actually think I want to make this into a level 3 just because it makes it cheaper to develop other provinces in the same area. And we are eventually going to have have to spawn in colonialism. Now, because our improved relations is so high, we can probably get away with annexing this guy. Just finish converting a few provinces, which will allow us to grab the 3 kings. Monthly splendor for the rest of the game is actually really good. I take it back. Maybe the hunting accident was actually a blessing. Yoink. Actually, I didn't check the coalition on that. We're fine. We're okay. Fort's done being built, so we can fortify the Ghats. We get an extra 20% fort maintenance decrease and national garrison growth, which is kind of whatever, I guess. At least it's permanent, and I don't have to pay as much money, so I'll take it. This is gonna be perfect. So we pick up the religious wars, which is another minus 25% war score cost versus everybody. With the church now done, this is probably the cheapest we're going to get this development cost. And we do have an institution to spawn. Unfortunately, it's going to be a lot of tax development, but it is what it is. 26 dev clicks for the institution. It could be worse. At least we get a bunch of money out of it. This mission gives us a couple of war elephants, which also receive less shock damage. Nice. The reform doesn't just give us the war elephants, it also gives us land leader shock, which is nice, plus yearly army tradition, which is perfect for us considering we actually get a lot of army tradition. I have a bit of a plan, so let me start by taking out a little bit of debt here. Just swap this guy out temporarily for the commandant, because we can't have 8 war elephants, so we might as well upgrade the commandant to level 3. Super expensive, but that's okay because it gives us a new government. However, the current government is what gives us access to the decadence mechanic. So I'm really sorry, mod developer, but yeah, I'm gonna abuse your mechanic. We are now the Order of St. Thomas. It enables the elephant training ability, which is something. Oh, wait a second, did it? It did kind of get rid of one of my reforms. Okay, well, I'll take the Order of St. Thomas, of course. That's what we wanted. And we'll just take this, I guess. Support elephant training will give elephant mobilization. Dude, what is this? Or elephant forcement plus 50% at maximum power. That's actually crazy. So we spend a little bit of mill power, a little bit of money, and I'm kind of curious, do we gain any per month or no? It doesn't look like there's any passive gain, which means we'll just have to support the training, I guess. It's not the end of the world. It's really not too expensive. Well, on the bright side, we do get more force limit for the war elephants. We can also embrace colonialism, but I'm just gonna wait like 3 months for these 2 provinces. There we go. I'll take that. And for an idea group, of course, at this point, we're going to take religious ideas. Kind of weird to me that you can even have war elephant infantry. Like, it explicitly gives you cavalry flanking ability, so I don't know why you would ever take that, but it is what it is, I guess. Oh, I just realized how expensive the war elephants are. Those are actually crazy expensive. 2.46 ducats each month. No, that's fine. That's cool, we have money, we're okay. Now this should be quite the general. Nice. Army's been completely reformed, so I think at this point we would be totally fine to bully the rest of India. We do have the 3rd largest income, and of course no one else actually has Tech 10. Upon further inspection, there's something definitely wrong with the maintenance cost on these units. It says plus 100% land maintenance modifier, but if you run the numbers, it's much closer to like plus 300%. That is 2.5 ducats per elephant, so yeah, it's rather expensive. We're spending half the economy on elephants. The elephants are genuinely so expensive, I think I can't even, like, keep all of them. I have to keep at least some money. Like, yeah, that just saved me 10 ducats a month. Kind of funny because actually neither side can get enough military access to fight each other, so we're just gonna be sitting here for a while, I guess. King's unfortunately dead, but while the queen's in power, we do have a careful ruler, which is quite nice. Oh, offensive ideas actually reduces the cost of special units. Even I didn't know that. Unfortunately for us, it doesn't actually seem like it's applied. We're still paying 2.7 ducats per month for each of these elephant cavalry. But that's not such a big deal because we're going to declare war on this guy. Bengal is already at war with us, so there's nothing they can do to change this. So if no one's complaining, I might as well take these provinces. Andhra's finally surrendered. We don't care in the slightest about Bengal, so we'll just take all of that, assuming it's not going to kill us. And I mean, there are what, like 7 tags left in India? We can pretty much just truce juggle at this point. Doesn't even matter. Now let's see some crown land. Seeing as I'm the only one in this place with colonialism, maybe I could sell it actually. Like maybe Ayutthaya would take it. Except actually, you know what? No, I'm a professional gatekeeper. We're finally done with offensive ideas, so we can pick up a, well, decent policy, I guess. There we go, new guy in charge. We can take some land back, but first we're gonna sell those titles, because why not? You know, I'm still not actually seeing a coalition, and surprisingly Gujarat likes me. I don't remember how I did that actually, but anyway, you want to be friends? Cool. Anyway, we're gonna invade Orissa. Yoink! We've spread the true faith to 40 provinces, so we finished our mission over here. It is a little bit weird that it even has the second half. I don't know what the chances are that no Evangelos or Concetus nation is going to exist at a certain point. I'm sure probably later in the game it's much higher, but at this point, like, there are so many of them. In fact, I don't even know what the Concetus nations are, actually. Well, we get 2 missionary strength versus heathens for the rest of the game, plus 1 tolerance of the true faith, which sounds very nice to me. The worst mistake Jaunpur ever made was allying this guy, because we're going to use that to bypass their alliance with Persia. Oh, oops. Well, we like professionalism. Oh yeah, we finally managed to convert that one province, so we can finish this off for, well, it's basically just 10 base tax. We do not have the money to upgrade that monument, but it would end up giving us reduced construction cost and 1 tolerance of the true faith. That only leaves us with a few missions. I can probably finish them all today, actually. Here we go. Now we actually have an opportunity to fight them. These poor guys have no idea what's about to hit them. Goodbye. I guess streamer luck is back on the menu with like the 5th free stability in a row. Funny thing is, from Jaunpur, we literally want one thing, and that's the truce. That's literally it. I have a couple of plans for them. I'll take that, thank you very much. Oh, why'd you break? Come on, man, why'd you have to break the alliance? I barely did anything. We can easily catch up on the next tech, and then I think we'll have to go to war with Jaunpur soon. This war with Jaunpur is gonna be, like, kinda short. We're not here for any kind of huge war. I just want a few things. If you can believe it, this is actually it. The only stuff I want. The reason for that is because we need to convert a couple of countries. To finish this mission, we need to force convert 5 different countries. Now, that's not super easy to do, considering, well, we're a heathen to everybody around here. So we can't force them through war, but if we release some subjects, then we can force them to convert. And fortunately, India is made up of like 50 bajillion tags, so those provinces I took, pretty much each one of those is its own OPM. So we have our 5 subjects over here. I guess I'll just grab this myself. And if we enforce religion on all of them, well, first of all, our influence increases. But second of all, that should fill out the requirements. All we need to do is finish this, which just requires 2 more regimental camps and a little bit more professionalism. Not a big deal. I'm gonna speed this along by hiring a couple of generals, and that's 50 professionalism, so this will give us an extra 10% infantry combat ability because we took offensive ideas. And we've already finished all the requirements to continue the Saints' Crusade, which is probably the most powerful CB I've seen in any mod ever, so far at least. Now that we've finished this mission, I'm totally fine with finishing this one. Before we go to war and test out that CB, I just want to finish off my ideas real quick. Perfect. I guess we can take that one, that's fine. Now, the reason I waited is because our final idea also gives us another minus 10% war score cost versus other religions. So if we look at the war score cost of a province, we can see it's reduced by 65%. Also, this CB does something different than it said it would. It said it would be 65% aggressive expansion, and then you actually go over to it and yeah, it's 75%, although it does kind of make me wonder if it's getting mixed up with my Holy War CB, so let's see. Holy War, 75, 100%, 75, 75% cost. Okay, I mean, probably just a tooltip thing that needs to be updated. Either way, 75% cost, this is pretty much just imperialism already. So when I say that we should bully the rest of India, this is what I mean. So, you know, we can take something kind of reasonable. I think this would be a nice start. You know, there's not even that much development, honestly. Just a touch with, you know, just a spoonful of AE to go alongside it. Yeah, seems like a reasonable peace deal. Oh my god, this game. You know, what's really weird is actually that it doesn't seem like that aggressive expansion actually applied. Like, sure, Bengal, Gujarat, obviously, but it said that Ming would be in the coalition, and it said Persia would be in the coalition. I'm just kind of not seeing that, so I don't know. Now, obviously, it would be a little difficult for us to core 320% overextension, but on the bright side, we have this kind of development right now, so we can upgrade ourselves to an empire. There we go, that should just about deal with that. There was no Holy Roman Empire, so I had to make my own budget version of it. It's only 6 subjects, it's not that many. Well, not that many yet. Coalition with Marathas, that's pretty cringe, man. I think I'll have to invade you. Or actually, you know what? Probably going to invade either Bengal or Gujarat. Let's go with Bengal, actually. Why not? Oh, they're allied to Ming. Not that that would really stop me, because Ming is, you know, zero mandate falling apart kind of Ming. But I'd rather not wait around for all of that, so I'm just gonna invade Gujarat. First, of course, I'm gonna turn all of my subjects onto Scuttage, because I actually don't need any of them to fight for me. And this will prevent any weird core things from happening. Oh yeah, we did get that monument improvement guy, so I do intend to use that, because it would save us quite a bit of money. For that to happen, I'm going to sell a few titles. We'll take some back when the war is done. In the meantime, I could do a little bit of developing just to stabilize things. In fact, we should do more developing down here because I was planning to finish this off. So, next on our list of very reasonable peace deals, honestly, kind of light, not that bad. Although before I take that, I should probably spend my prestige, so I do want to annex some of these guys. And yeah, I know, it gives us more aggressive expansion, but at this point, like, what is anybody going to do to us? We're the #1 great power, and the other two are either too far away or just incompetent, so yoink. A lot of this stuff is actually cores of Muar, so I'll just give those back, I guess. I think Kuch is probably our best candidate for a releasable in this area. We can give you a little bit of stuff over here. And yeah, I mean, the coalition still doesn't seem to be a big problem. Ming, for whatever reason, doesn't seem to actually be getting any of the aggressive expansion, but that's not my problem. Persia, I think, still technically likes us enough to not fight us, so we're chill with them. Bengal and Delhi have joined a coalition. Interesting. I actually didn't know Delhi still existed. Okay, well anyway. Well, if you want to join a coalition, I guess we'll just have to forcibly prevent it. Darn. The things I have to do. It's unfortunate that that brings Marathas in as well, because, you know, kind of wanted to annex you, but not like this. Wanted to annex you separately. That's annoying. Honestly, Ming shouldn't even be here. This army's gonna fold like a lawn chair. Same thing for everybody involved, actually. Like, this is just, it's not even a fight. There's no struggle, there's no fight. It's just conquest. And, you know, I'm feeling pretty generous, so we'll just take a small peace deal. One of the problems with Bengal is that it really lacks any kind of releasable countries. I mean, there are like a few of them at most. Nothing near the actually developed parts, unfortunately. But Assamese is part of the group, so we'll just release Assam, I suppose. And with that, I'd say it's probably a good place to end things off. We have truces with pretty much everybody in the rest of India. The coalition is no problem at all. I mean, of course, it's pretty much like Persia and a few random countries out here. If the greatest powers in India and Ming couldn't stop me, then I doubt anybody else could either. So from here, it would just be a point of waiting for truces to end, waiting for Liberty Desire to go back down, and then integrating these subjects eventually. I did spawn the printing press, so we just have to wait for it to go to this province, and then it'll spread to these two as well. The overextension is certainly something, but it's not so big of a deal because we've made so many subjects. Like, we have 8 subjects. I probably don't even need Ayutthaya as an alliance anymore because it's just taking up a slot we don't need. But yeah, I'd say that was a pretty successful crusade for India. And for the first time in a while, I have finished all the missions in a mission tree. You can probably count the number of videos I do that on one hand. But in this case, I think it's because there's simply no formable for Calicut. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably in the works for another update, because presumably any of these cultures should be completely capable of forming India or some kind of equivalent formable for this timeline. But putting that aside, we are the #1 great power, obviously. I think we increased by, well, if half the subject's development is 427, then we conquered at least 800, 900 dev in the last, like, I don't know, 20 years. So obviously we're the #1 great power. So, Calicut, kind of a slow start, but once you actually get that final CB in this mission down here, it picks up a little bit, you know? The Age of Reformation is pretty much the golden era for this country. Keep in mind, you've only seen one of these mission tree paths for this area down here. We went with the, I don't remember what it's called, Pious path, I think. And there's the other one, which is, I think, still in development, the Sin path, but ideally, when this update comes out, you'll be able to play that, so look forward to it. Thank you very much for watching, though. If you enjoyed the video, then leaving a like would be super appreciated. And if it's your first time here, or not your first time here, either way, you should probably subscribe. But for now, this is Corbett, signing off, and as always, have a fantastic day. As always, a big thank you to the patrons this month, especially Erica, Baby Cow, Licabecca, Nick Schneffel, Q-Brute, AG Forero, Quiet Guy, Sinmiss 077, Torval, The Ambient Cyan, Jamie, James Levy, Luke78776, Robert Caleno, The Watcher, Rova, and Robert.